Alright, yan. Magandang araw mga kabatas natin at welcome sa isang mga live stream. Mga kabatas natin, nakulong na nga dito si Atty. Harry Roque. Okay? So, hindi ko alam kung maabutan natin yun doon. Pero tulad nga na sinabi ko, papaliwanag ko sa inyo yung nangyari hanggang doon sa nakulong siya. Doon sa mga galing sa kabila, welcome back. At syempre, wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa. At saka sa mga bumabati ng happy birthday, maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Manood po tayo.
In your season, lawyer, and if we follow back, and if you go back to the previous pronouncements, which you even publicly said in most of your statements through media and in this forum, Mr. Chair, you stated that you have nothing to do with Lucky South 99, and that in fact you said na mas gusto ko nga kinuha nila akong abogado eh. Kasi nung ni-raid sila, marami akong pwedeng kasuhan sa kanila, di ba? And yet now, presented by all these evidences, are you telling me, Mr. Chair, that with all the experiences you had, you did not even bother, Mr. Chair, to ask whether this certain Ronaldin Baterna is not only part of the Lucky South Will-Win Company, Lucky South 99, but in fact now is an executive assistant of Cassandra Ong, who, by the way, again, may reiterate, is under detention by the Indonesian immigration trying to flee this country. Are you trying to tell me that, Mr. Chairman, Atty. Roque?
Yes, ang sagot. Siyempre, yes, ang sagot niya dyan. Yes.
Mataas po yung respeto ko sa inyo, huwag niyo pababain.
Ala, bakit may side comment na gano'n? Rep. Abjong.
Chairman, Atty. Roque, mataas po yung respeto ko sa inyo, huwag niyo pababain.
Well, Mr. Chair, it was a sworn statement. As lawyers, we remind all parties making sworn statements that they could be criminally liable for any false...
Hindi naman yun kasi ang tanong niya. Yung tanong niya parang sinasabi mo na dapat alam mo. Pero medyo naintindihan ko rin si Atty. Harry Roque kasi nga siguro paulit-ulit naman na nasabi ni Atty. Adyong dito na ang ini-establish niya naman yung connection ni Harry Roque sa Lucky South 99. Paulit-ulit din naman na dininay ni Harry Roque na yon. So dapat you should have moved on. Pag sa korte ito, sasabihin nung judge, counsel, move on to another point. Kasi wala tayong makukuha dyan kasi nasagot na.
We cannot guarantee that witnesses who execute affidavits will in fact not lie. We can only warn them. And that is what we do as lawyers.
Okay, we can discuss here, Secretary Roque, until Judgment Day, but these documents will not deny the fact
Tapos na dapat.
that
Stop it
Miss
na.
Ronaldin
It's too long na.
is assigned by you as one of the
Congressman
lawyers,
Adyong.
as executive assistant of Cassandra Ong. So we have proven, Mr. Chair, based on these documents. I'm not basing anything from anybody
Wala.
or any opinion of any of these members of this committee. I am basing my judgment and my conclusion on the documents.
You've proven your point already. We don't need your point actually doesn't need this long of a time to show it because you have the documents. Ilang beses nang dininay, ilang beses mong inuulit, tinatanong kung papalitan niya yung kanyang statement. Hindi niya papalitan yan. Abogado din yan eh. Let's move on.
That I have in my possession. So if we follow the trail of all this possession of this documents,
Ulitin mo na naman eh. Stop na.
Mr. Chair, we've proven, number one, that Baterna is a corporate secretary of Lucky South 99. That she is both an employee of Whirlwind as well as the corporate secretary of Lucky South 99. You know, it's, to me, how can you enter into a sublease agreement when in fact, you yourself, among you, you're the one calling the shots and you're running the affairs of all these two companies?
Well, because actually, magkaiba naman yung identities ng mga korporasyon na yan. Di ba? So, wala pa rin problema doon.
You tell me, if you can give me that answer, then you're smarter than me.
Don't say that! You're smarter than me, sasabihin mo.
I mean, come on, let us not fool each other. Dalawang tapos they're posing as, as different, but...
Pero yun ang explanation dyan. Each juridical entity, each corporation, have their own identity. Ngayon, can they transact with each other? Of course. Even if, like for example, these corporations have almost similar stockholders or board of directors or incorporators, yes. Why? Because Each corporation have different identities.
And number three, Mr. Chair, we have proven, Mr. Chair, that the subject of the indictment case is the same property subject to the sublease agreements between Lucky South and Whirlwind. May I ask, Mr. Chair, Secretary Roque po, di ba sublease po ito, no? So, ibig sabihin, may mother lease po?
That was the subject of our litigation. That was
Okay.
the only relevant, Mr. Chair, to our litigation. The
May-
lease
you have-
contract between the owner of the property and Whirlwind.
Sige, would you know po, can we require, can we request kung meron pong yung mother lease agreement?
It is appended to the petition and it's downloadable, Your Honor, from the Court of Appeals.
Okay, thank you for
website.
that. And thank you for that information. That makes our job a little easier. Thank you. Now, let me, Mr. Chair, may I proceed to Miss Ronaldine? Ma'am, taga Mindanao ka?
Yes po, Mr.
Bisaya,
Chair.
Bisaya?
Opo.
Ay, may ngapon.
Ngapon po.
Asa ka sa Mindanao?
Sambuanga del Sur po.
Silingan ta. Silingan ta. Marawi ko. Nirepresent mo ho ba ang Whirlwind Company? Kasama ho ba kayo sa nagpurma nung sa ejectment case na sinabi ko kanina?
Mr. Chair, yung pagiging corporate secretary ko po is
No.
papers lang.
Yung mayroon ho ako dito, pumirma
Ulit na naman.
po, tama po ba? Kasama po ba kayo doon sa mga witnesses na pumirma?
Hindi ko po maalala, Mr. Chair, pero si Miss Cassandra Ong po yung mga nagpapapirma sa akin ng mga dokumento.
So lahat ng pinipirmahan mo, hindi mo maalala at binibigay lang sa'yo, pinipirmahan mo?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so
Tapos na ang tanong. Move on.
marahil ay yung pinapirma sa'yo na sublease agreement, binigay rin sa inyo, no? Hindi mo rin alam, tapos pinirmahan mo?
Hindi po, binigay lang po at pilit pinapapirma.
Okay, pero nandun ka ha? Papakita ko sa'yo, nandito ka. Okay? Does not matter whether you accept or not, the fact is nandito yung pangalan mo.
Let's
So,
move on na.
Miss Ronaldine, alam niyo ho ba na nung pumirma kayo nung
Hindi niya alam.
sublease agreement, ang dating address, ang address ng Whirlwind Company nung ang pumirma ay si Stephanie Macarenas ay nasa Thai Court, Pulong Maba, Porac, Pampanga. Tapos nung kayo ay pumirma ulit, ikaw na itong nagre-represent sa Lucky South 99 Outsourcing Incorporated na pinalitan mo sa pirma si Catherine Cassandra Ong na siya yung pumirma para sa Lucky South, this time sa Whirlwind, ay nag-iba din sila ng address at naging pareho na. Thai Court, Pulong Maba, Porac, Pampanga. Alam mo ba yon?
Hindi ko po
Hindi.
alam, Mr. Chair.
Sabi ko sa'yo eh. Ay, mga kabatasan, hindi ko naman napanood yung buo kasi na talaga nito. Nung umpisang-umpisa lang talaga. Sobrang umpisa lang. Siguro mga 5 minutes dun sa umpisa. These are useless questions. Kasi nga, sinabi niya na pumipirma lang siya, hindi niya alam yung mga contents. So you will be expecting that everything that you will be asking this particular witness ay hindi niya alam. Ikaw naman
Pero
eh.
nakapirma ka pa rin.
Hindi niya nga alam.
Yes po, dahil pinapapirma po.
Okay. Di ba sabi mo po nung una kayong, nung previous hearing, ang trabaho mo talaga, hindi ka talaga corporate secretary, ang trabaho mo ay, ano ka? Ikaw yung nasa gate pass, yun ba yun?
Yes po, Mr. Chair.
Magandang trabaho ba yun?
Yes po.
Masaya?
Nag-issue lang po ako ng gate pass, Mr. Chair.
Masaya? Masaya ka doon?
Sakto lang po.
Ha? So namimit mo lahat ng
Ay, nako, sir.
pumapasok. Siyempre, hindi ka makakapasok kung wala kang gate pass, hindi ba?
Yung mga gate pass po na ini-issue ko, Mr. Chair, is halimbawa, may mga grocery po sila na gustong ipasok po sa loob. Parang i-issuean ko lang po para po may...
Pero lahat na pumapasok po doon. Lahat na pumapasok doon, binibigyan mo ng ng gate pass.
Yes po, Mr. Chair. Yung mga groceries lang po nila tsaka yung mga order ng mga Grab. Mga ganun po.
Ilang gate ba ang meron doon? Malaki ba?
Dalawa po, Mr. Chair, yung alam ko kasi yung pinagjujutuyan ko, isang gate tapos isang gate pa.
Pero marami ho kayong nakikita mga tao dumadalaw sa Lucky South 99.
Marami po, Mr. Chair, mga sasakyan.
Mga sasakyan. Alam mo ba na in 2020,
Hindi.
ang Whirlwind Company ay nag-move in sa Thai Court, Pulong Maba, Santa Cruz, Porac, Pampanga. At doon din po nag-opisina ang Lucky South 99. Ang Whirlwind
Hindi.
Company.
Mr. Chair, 5 years po kasi akong nagtatrabaho sa Thai. Never po kaming lumipat ng
Ano, ibig
address.
sabihin, ang lumipat pala, sorry ito, ang lumipat pala ay ang Whirlwind Company, isang compound na sila. Tama ho ba yun?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair.
Hindi mo alam? Tapos ikaw,
Sabi ko sa'yo. Alam niyo mga kapatid natin, no? Pag ganito yan, no? Even if even if, for example, you have valid questions, pero alam mo na ganito yung mangyayari kasi nga, panalo ka na kasi wala siyang alam eh. Diba? Ibig sabihin, ay naamin niya na yung mga pinirma niya, ganyan, wala siyang alam kung ano yung ginawa dyan, yung pangalan niya, ganun-ganun lang siya. Ang mangyayari dyan kasi mga batas natin, if you were a lawyer, in this case, hindi naman kasi siya lawyer eh, pero pag sa lawyer mo na natin titignan, lalabas na parang incompetent ka. Kasi nga, alam mo na yung mga isasagot sa'yo, pinipilit mo pa rin. Di ba? Magagalit na rin yung judge dito. Tapos pag-object na rin yung abogado sa kabila. Dito rin mga kabatas natin, in this particular setting, si Congressman Adjong, mga kabatas natin, lumalabas siyang hindi rin maayos dito. Kasi nga, although you have prepared a set of questions, if those questions are not applicable, you're not supposed to ask them anymore. Magmumukha kang hindi maayos. 'Di ba? Magmumukha kang incompetent. Parang ikaw yung hindi nakakaintindi dun sa proceedings na you're supposed to control. 'Di ba? Kasi alam mo na yung mga isasagot niya eh. Kami nga alam namin, di pa namin napanood ito eh. 'Di ba? Ganun 'yon.
Nagbibigay ng ano? Mr. Chair, based on the sublease agreement, it is in fact proven that Whirlwind Company and Lucky South 99 shares the same compound, the same address. I think this is already in the possession of the committee and just trying to figure out and try to test the memory of Ms. Ronaldin Ong. Sa palagay ko,
Wala nga siya maalala. Ask and answered. Oh, ask and answered na.
biktima ka eh. Alam ba yung ano nyo, yung boss mo nasa Indonesia, alam mo ba yun?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair.
Kilala ho nyo ba si Mr. Harry Roque?
Kilala ko po siya dahil sa politiko po.
Sa?
Dahil po politiko po siya dati.
Nakikita nyo po ba siya na bumisita sa compound ng Whirlwind?
Never po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So nakita nyo po ba siya? Nung kayo po pumirma dito sa petition, sino pong pumirma? Sino pong kasama mo na pumirma at nandoon po ba yung mga abogado ng Whirlwind Company?
Binigay lang po ni Ms. Cassandra Ong para po pirmahan ko, Mr. Chair.
So pinirmahan mo na wala yung mga abogado?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. So pero sinasabi po dito sa affidavit,
Hindi rin tama yun. Sinabi mo, pinirma mo yung wala yung abogado. Dapat sabihin mo, meron. Dapat brief nyo. Dapat pinirmahan niya na pinirmahan na wala yung abogado. Hindi po, meron, sir. Ganun. Kasi hindi ka pwede namang magpa-notaryo na wala yung abogado.
na ikaw ay parte ng Whirlwind Company nung pirmirman mo itong petition pero isa ka daw corporate secretary ng executive assistant ni Cassandra Ong pero at the same time corporate secretary ka ng Lucky South 99. So kung tulungan mo rin ako Ms. Ronaldin, Mr. Chair para maintindihan ko. Sa palagi mo ba isa ang ang Whirlwind at saka Lucky South?
Hindi ko po alam, Mr. Chair.
Pero mukhang ganun no? Kasi ikaw ay sa Whirlwind.
Sabi niya mas matalino ka sa akin, sabi kanina ni Representative Adyong, no. Sa tingin ko medyo wag mo nang tatanungin yung question na yun sa susunod.
Ikaw ang nagpumirma dun sa dokumento nung nag-sublease agreement, tapos yung sinasabi mo dito sa pirma mo dito sa petition na ito na isa sa mga abogado.
Ang tamang sagot diyan hindi. At yun din ang isasagot niya. Kasi hindi siya ganoong kabobo. Alam ko, trinatrap dito ni Congressman Adjong siya na sabihin na iisa ang Lucky South at iisa ang Whirlwind. Hindi mangyayari yon. Pero tignan natin.
Ay si Atty. Harry Roque na sabi mo nga, politiko siya, ibig sabihin, known siya, kilala mo siya, maski hindi mo siya nakita in person, pero kilala mo siya, magaling na abogado naman talaga yan, ay sinasabi mo dito sa petition niyo sa korte na ikaw ay executive assistant ni Cassandra Ong na siya ngayon ang sa Whirlwind at ikaw sa Lucky South 99.
Na yung tanong.
Sa palagay mo ba pag ganun ang arrangement? Anong sa palagay mo, Big? Turuan mo daw ako, dalawa ba talaga itong entity, mag-separate o isa lang?
Wala po akong idea sa mga ganyan, Mr. Chair, dahil lang po ako, normal na tao. Pero palagay ko po, siguro po.
Anong siguro?
Siguro po isa.
Okay. Actually, pareho tayo.
Wala nga siyang alam. Di siguro, baka kung anong gusto mong isipin, di yun.
Tayo na nag-iisip eh. Hindi rin ako abogado, ordinary din ako ng tao. Pero ginagamit ko yung common sense ko, hindi ba? So maganda dahil gumagamit ka ngayon ng common sense mo, natutulungan ka ng committee ito at makapag-reflect kung ano dapat mong sabihin at magsabi ng totoo. So Mr. Chair, I guess I have taken...
Ngayon, mayroon bang bigat yon na iisang entity lang yun siguro? Sabi niya, di ba? Ngayon, kung will they take any weight? May bigat ba yung sinabi dito ni, ano pa nga niya, Taberna? Ay, hindi. Baterna, sorry. Si Baterna, may bigat ba yung sinabi niya? Wala, kasi wala nga siyang alam eh. Tapos paulit-ulit lang siyang tinanong, kaya sumagot siya ng siguro. Makikita mo naman na walang alam ang una niyang sagot. Tapos para lang tumigil ka, sinabi niya, siguro.
Much of your time, and there will be plenty of members here who would like to ask our resource persons. But this is, may I reiterate, Mr. Chair, that all of these things,
Huwag na, sinabi mo na yan kanina. Hindi mo kasi... Akala ko matalino ka. Why are you treating the committee and its members as people who cannot actually follow what you are trying to prove in your line of questioning? Uulitin mo na naman.
some of the resource persons here have been hiding from legal screens, circumventing the law. But this committee, Mr. Chair, needs to extend its arms in order, again, to help us, help this country, come out from this labyrinth of lies.
And web
to
of...
free our streets from all of this illegal activity that is brought out by these transnational crimes as a result of the illegal operation of the offshore gaming corporation.
Web of lies.
We respect, Mr. Chair, all of the chairman of these 4 committees, Mr. Chair, and we hope that by the end, but we reach the end of this committee hearings, we can finally say to the people that we are one with them in finding the truth
Generic shit na naman. We don't need that.
and keeping our streets free, and to those responsible to really see and that they
Ito, sasabihin ko sa inyo, yung mga abogado na nagtanong, di ba? Nakita nyo ba na ganyang kahaba yung spiel nila sa dulo? Di ba konting-konti lang? Konting buod lang? Kumbaga, syempre, parang sa Amerika, meron silang closing. Pero yung closing mo, pag maganda na yung tanungan mo, you don't need the very long one because if you establish your point already, upo ka na lang. Pero bakit kailangan mong dumaldal ng ganyang kahaba? Huwag naman. It leaves a bad taste in the mouth. No? Mas maganda pa rin talaga yung kiss. Keep it short and sweet. Hindi. Keep it short and simple. Di ba? Now, let's go.
in court, Mr. Chair. So marami pong salamat sa pagkakataon, Mr. Chair. And just a manifestation po, Mr. Chair,
Oh.
I've been talking about the properties kanina, nung sa pag-exchange po nila ng
Hindi pa tapos.
pag-exchange po ng mga addresses nila, Mr. Chair. May I there make my closing manifestation, Mr. Chair, considering that the principal office addresses of Whirlwind in Lucky South 99 appear significant in relation to our inquiry in this Pogos and
Akala ko tapos na. Meron pa pala siya closing statement.
the network within which they operate in. May I therefore request, Mr. Chair, that the information be secured from the relevant government's offices as to the registered owner of Junjun Building, and this is the original address. Junjun Building in Angeles City and Thai Court in Pampanga, the owners, registered owner of these buildings, and a subpoena be issued directing the owners of these properties to appear before this August.
Huwag na.
Be assured
Next
that
na.
the Quadcom, we will
na marami po kayong naitanong sa iyo. Marami na pong committee hearings. Pero just for clarification, I understand, Madam Chair, Lynn Baterna.
please proceed.
Ma'am, magandang hapon po.
Good afternoon po, Mr. Chair.
I understand, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, na marami po kayong naitanong sa iyo. Marami na pong committee hearings. Pero just for clarification lang po, as we build up in this inquiry, I just like to clarify. I believe po na isagot niyo na po ito dati, pero gusto na mag-clarify para maintindihan kung ano po talaga yung
Kung ba't ka magtatanong ng nasagot na?
role po ninyo dito sa Lucky South 99. Naintindihan po namin, Mr. Chair, na kayo po ay corporate secretary. Nabanggit rin ni Congressman Nanjong, and you have confirmed na kayo rin po yung tagapamahala ng gate pass ng Pora. But Mr. Chair, nabanggit po ninyo na kapag dealing po with Lucky South 99, ang kilala nyo lang po dito ay si Ms. Cassie Ong. Tama po ba?
Tama po, Mr. Chair.
Pero Mr. Chair, may nabanggit rin na merong mga abogado na minsan through them kumakausap po sa inyo.
Kung saan po galing yung mga dokumento na pinipirmahan ko po?
Itong mga abogado po, they confirm they represent si Ms. Cassie Ong or they represent Lucky South 99?
Miss Cassandra Ong po yung kausap, Mr. Chair. Hindi ko po alam.
Ms. Cassandra Ong kausap.
Opo.
And for the record, kasi nalito po ako naalala ko po at one hearing, may kasama ko pong isang abogado at the next it was another. Sino po yung mga abogado na nag-contact po sa iyo on behalf of Cassie Ong?
May tumawag po sa akin, Mr. Chair, pero hindi ko na po matandaan kung ano yung name. Pero pinapatawag daw po siya ni Miss Cassandra Ong para pumunta sa isang law firm at magpirma para dun sa, parang kina-file po nila dun sa San Fernando po, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Anong law firm po ito na pituntahan ninyo?
NFC Meralies po.
NFC Morales. At yung ibang instances po na may abogado na personally na-meet po ninyo, ito lang po ba yung sa law firm lang? Wala po kayong na-meet na abogado sa compound mismo while working in Pora?
Wala po, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Baterna. Mr. Chair, I'd like now to direct my questions to Attorney Roque.
Go ahead, sige.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Good afternoon po, Attorney Roque.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Chair, my first question po, I'd like to ask, is Mr. Roque aware of a certain Alberto Rodolfo de la Serna?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, sino po si Mr. de la Serna?
He was my EA in Malacanang. He was a member of my election staff. And until March of 2023, he was still in my private staff.
March of 2023. Paano po kayo nagkakilala ni Mr. de la Serna?
Tinder! Bakit may mga ganitong tanong? Paano ka nagkakilala? Let's
Nagkaroon po
go.
ako ng project nung ako po'y kongresista na request ng mayor ng Tagbilaran, and it so happened that the project was in the barangay where his mother used to be barangay captain. So nagkaroon po ng inauguration around 2019,
Sinagot na rin ni Ardel Serna yan eh.
at doon po kami nakakilala doon sa inauguration ng proyekto ng multipurpose hall sa kanilang barangay.
So, Mr. Chair, he has roots in Bohol.
Yes, in fact, he is a full-blown son of Bohol.
Born and raised, taga Bohol po talaga
Born and
siya.
raised po.
But from my understanding, he found himself, of course, aside from your employee, he found himself in Porac, Pampanga. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
Yes, dahil siya po ay nasa isang aviation school ngayon sa Clark. After we severed ties in March of 2023, was it March 2023 or March of 2023 or 2024? After he severed his ties, umuwi muna, and then he apparently chose to pursue aviation rather than law school dahil ang lolo po niya ay isang famous lawyer din.
So he pursued the aviation school in Clark.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And because of that, he had to move from Bohol to Pampanga.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And he somehow found himself in the compound of
Ano to, love story ba? Ano yung gustong establish dito ni Representative Gutierrez? Love story? Love story ba?
Porac. I believe in another hearing that we've had, you have confirmed that in fact is that correct, Mr. Chair, that you introduced him to Casiong?
Yes, he met Casiong for the first time because he joined us after a court appearance. I think it was for lunch.
So he met Casiong through lunch, still under your employ at the time?
No more. He was already there in Clark. He was preparing to start his aviation school. He started in November, so we must have met
Hindi ko talaga mag-gets, no?
Casiong around October because the case that we represented, the whirlwind, started in August.
Mr. Chair, if he was no longer in your employ, what was his business in that lunch?
Well, he happened to be in Pampanga, and I know that he was in Pampanga because he's told me that he is pursuing aviation school. So he just happened to be there. I happened to be there. I said, okay, magla-lunch kami, you can join us because tapos na naman yung hearing by the time.
And Mr. Chair, the lunch with Casiong was in relation to your function as lawyer for, as you say, Whirlwind.
Yes, it was for the ejectment case of Whirlwind.
Is that normal practice, Mr. Chair, that when you are having lunch with a client, you would bring in other personalities that might not have anything to do with the subject matter of your meeting?
Pinagbibigay alam naman po, no? And of course, I asked if my former staff could join us for lunch, and sabi naman ni Cassie, no problem.
Oh, lunch lang naman kayo naman. Ba't nyo binibigyan naman kasi ng ano? Ba't nyo binibigyan ng mali siya? Lunch lang yun.
This has nothing to do with the fact also that, at that time, he was not yet living in Porac.
No, he was not. He was, in fact, in the process of looking for a place to stay in Pampanga.
And Mr. Chair, was that how he was able to find a place to stay with Casiong? Through
Yes, Mr. Chair, because after I had left, they continued talking, and Mr. De La Serna inquired that he was in fact looking for a place to stay, na sana malapit sa aviation school, and he was informed by Cassie that meron silang mga accommodations.
Ikaw naman, Congress, but huwag naman masyado. Huwag love story. Lunch lang.
Mr. Chair, and you were present during that conversation?
Nakaalis na po ako nun.
Nakaalis na.
Nakaalis na po ako nun.
And how did you come to know that they came into that arrangement of sorts?
Sinabi naman po sa akin later on ni R, nagpaalam din siya. Ang sabi ko lang is, meron lang tayong temporary respite dahil na-withdraw, na-recall yung writ of execution, pero suntok sa buwan yung kaso, so prepare to look for more permanent living arrangement dahil it's a 40% chance of victory na baka mapaalis nga sila doon sa lugar na yun.
And prior to, sabi po ninyo, no, nakaalis na po kayo when they discussed the terms of arrangement ng residence niya sa Porac, if ever. Were you aware of his intention to ask Ms. Casiong for residence?
Hindi po. Hindi ko po alam naman na hahanapan niya ng residence itong si Casiong.
I don't find these questions relevant din. No? Love story yung gusto niyang ilabas eh.
Nag-small talk lang po sila after I had left, and lumabas nga po na naghahanap siya. Nagpapatulong siya na magpahanap ng matitirahan.
Did you not find it strange, Mr. Chair, that he chose residence in Porac, which is 50 or so minutes away from Clark?
Hindi ko po alam kung gano'ng karayo talaga yung Porac sa Clark, no? Basta lahat naman po yan siguro malapit. So I did not find it strange. Ang warning ko lang is, there's a temporary respite. Baka mapaalis yan. So
Why do I find it strange? I'm not the I'm not the person who is staying there. Diba?
humanap ka ng permanent na matitirahan mo.
So, Mr. Chair, it would appear that this would be the second time that Mr. Attorney Roque has facilitated a meeting of which he claims he has no interest in. The first, I believe, would be the supposed meeting between Cassandra Ong and Chairman Altenco. Would you say that's a fair statement, Mr. Chair?
I arranged that meeting, but ito naman po, it was just a casual meeting. There was no particular purpose involved. It was just that I was in Pampanga. Matagal ko rin naman pong naging staff itong CR. So, I know that he was there because naghahanda nga siya
Yun ang tawagan nila R. Kasi AR. R. Hindi AR. R Lacerna. Ha?
enroll. So, tinanong ko, nasaan ka? O, ka, join us for lunch.
So, Mr.
Ganun
Chair,
lang po.
coincident.
Ganun lang kasimple. Walang nangyari. May nakita pa ako dito, no nonsense, sisig. Walang sisig, Jun. Wala.
Seems to follow Mr. Roque. Mr. Chair, may I ask, the residence of the Mr. De La Serna, this is the same residence that was raided during the POAC raid sa Poro.
Isa po doon sa mga buildings, pero ang explanation po niya is hiwalay po yung tirahan doon sa lugar kung saan naroon ang negosyo. So he was living doon sa area na puro living quarters lang po.
But it is within the compound, Mr. Chair.
Actually, hiwalay po siya eh.
Heart pagkarinig ko eh. Iba yun. Iba yun. Ikaw naman. Heart. Iba yun. Iba yun.
May dalawang gate eh. Isang gate papunta doon sa residence, isang gate papunta doon sa where the business is conducted. So, hindi ka makakapasok doon sa gate na where the business is conducted kung ikaw ay nandun lang sa accommodations.
It is not where the business is conducted. However, business documents were yielded from that raid. Is that correct, Mr. Chair?
No, those are not business documents because those are not relative to the business of the Pogo. Those are documents of Attorney Harry Roque.
Wala pong business document as far as Pogo is concerned dun sa raid na yon. Hindi ko po alam kung ano talaga ang nakuhang raid because I'm not involved in the motion to quash as far as Lucky South is concerned. No?
But Mr. Chair, I believe in another hearing that we've had, you claimed that the documents that were yielded from his residence in relation to you were from that residence, Mr. Chair. I believe they were bank documents and appointment papers?
Yes, these documents were personal documents to Mr. De La Serna. They had nothing to do with Pogo.
But
Yes. Tama yun. Tama yung sagot ni Attorney Harry Roque doon. Move on to your next point.
they are not related to Pogo, but they are business documents, Mr. Chair. They are official. Appointment papers po siya, hindi ba?
Well, yung appointment paper po niya, yung siya initially appointed sa Malacanang, isa po yan doon sa nasa files niya.
I would say that's business po. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Chair?
Well,
Let's
hindi na
put
po.
Pogo aside. Business papers po yun. Appointment po yun.
Well, government po appointment yan. It is more of memorabilia kasi ang appointment po niya every 6 months and that was his first appointment. Hindi naman po permanent appointment yan. No? Every 6 months po nare-renew.
Tama na yun. Okay na yun. Congressman, let's move on.
Staff na classification ni R.
Are your banking documents also memorabilia, Mr. Chair?
No, but the banking documents were appended to a visa application because naimbitahan po ako ng Ukraine at meron pong gera sa Ukraine. Eh, nabago po ang mga plano. So, yung mga original na dapat kasama ko umatras. So, ang sabi
This
ko, wala ka pa ginagawa.
questioning,
Sabi niya, wala pa
I
man,
don't
hindi pa naman siya
approve of
nagsisimula.
this
Ito,
questioning.
samahan mo
It
ako
has
dito sa
no
Ukraine.
relevance.
So, ura-urada po, we had to get visa.
Dapat love story na lang
Residence po
yun.
niya in that compound. Or you say it's separated by a gate or two. It is the same place that has been raided by Pora.
That was raided in
Also the
Porac.
same office address that is subject of the two subleases between Whirlwind and Lucky South 99.
I am not sure po because from the news, I know it's 49 buildings. Plus, meron pang separate corporate office na parang
Wala, hindi maganda.
of 49 buildings in addition to what used to be hotels, I believe, being used as offices, not just by... No? And that's just basing on newspaper reports. Kasi pati po yung... Yes,
But
Mr.
Sayang oras.
generally in the estate planning stage that you had for Biancham, it was a 50-50 arrangement, except for the nominal shares, the other three.
Yes, Mr. Chair. In the beginning, it was 50-50.
Ito.
Before we decided to embark on land banking, in which case other family members got involved already.
However, Mr. Chair, within that same year, even before land banking, I suppose, kasi 2014 din po, it was increased. Your particular shareholding was increased to 97%.
Well, yung 97% po, I don't remember because it's
Natanong na
2014
rin ni
and 2015,
ano to
no?
eh.
Pero importante po talaga
Congressman
is it will serve
Congresswoman
as estate
Nogradis
planning by
eh.
the family. It will hold title to our properties. Although, hindi mo namin in-include ang
Anyway, mga kabatas natin, nawalan ako ng interest sa kanya konti. So, let's end there. Ituloy natin dyan sa susunod. I hope meron na siya mga questions na better. Let's move on. Let's move on to the next live stream. Maraming salamat mga kabatas natin. At syempre, tulad lagi yung sinasabi, matulog po tayo ng mahimbing. Dahil alam natin, natutulog ng mahimbing, siya yung laging panalo. R.